Hi, welcome to One Man and His Meeple. I'm Andy Savage. Today I'm playing Under Falling Skies, designed by Tomáš Uhlíř and published by Czech Games Edition. Under Falling Skies is based on the print and play game that won the 2019 9-card Nana Game P&P design contest, but comes with a whole load of extra content like a multi-mission campaign game. In the game, you defend a city from alien invasion by rolling and placing dice to power anti-aircraft guns, fighter planes and robots, and excavating new rooms, while you simultaneously do research in order to win the game. The catch? Every time you spend a dice, the aliens advance, and if they land, they damage your city. Take too much damage and the game's over. As if that's not bad enough, the alien mothership is slowly advancing, and the ships respawn constantly. I'm going to be playing on threat level 2, which is a medium level of difficulty from 0 to 4, and this means research is going to be harder, ships will be more difficult to shoot down, and the mothership effects will be more severe. I'm going to be defending Washington DC, which has an effect on some of the dice. So, let's play. Okay, so here we are, Washington DC. This grants us a special dice power that on the first roll of each round, we set one of our white dice to 6 instead of rolling it. And the white dice are special because every time we use one, we have to re-roll the rest of the dice. So up here is the mothership with the 5 invaders in their starting positions. And they will come down this space here. As we progress through the game, the mothership will also move down round after round, triggering these effects down the side. We start off, this is our research track. We have to clear research right up to 11, up to this final space, and when we've done that, we've won the game. And we start with 3 power and our excavator here and 0 damage. If all our damage is used, if we take too much damage, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points of damage, then that's game over and we receive damage when one of these red ships comes down and advances off the bottom space of that board into the city. I'm not going to go into the rules too much, we're just going to get going and see how it goes and describe what we're doing as we go. The white ships will come in later, they will spawn in later. What I said that I'm playing on threat level 2, I mean 2 of these 4 boards are flipped over, which puts them at random, which puts them on their more difficult side. So this middle section of research and this bottom section of the mothership actions are going to be harsher. Probably means this track is shorter as well. This is another way we can lose the game when the mothership hits. And this arrow on the mothership here, it's this row here, we also lose the game. And also some of the there's going to be fewer explosion points on these boards, and these are where we can actually shoot down the alien invaders. Right, so let's roll. At the start of the turn we roll all the dice, except because we're in Washington we set 1 white dice to 6. So I'm just going to put that out there so I don't knock it, and that's the rest of our dice. So obviously we want to move the excavator because right now we can only use these spaces behind the excavator and there are no research spaces available, so we can't do any research. So we can't win the game unless we move the excavator. Obviously a 6 or a 5 is good because the further we move it down this track here, it zigzags back and forth. The further we move it, the more rooms we uncover. Unfortunately, the mothership will push back the excavator on some of these spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So with a 5 we can get to there. And let me just show you what happens if we put a 5 in there, which means during the rooms phase at the end of the turn, after we've used all our dice, the excavator will move there, clearing all these spaces for us to use next round. But when we place the 5 there, this ship in this column will move 5 spaces. So that's 4, 5. And this blue arrow means he will zip over to there, into that second row. These are quite hard to see, unfortunately, because they're transparent and they're not showing up very well. Can't do much about that, I'm afraid. So we don't really want to move him down there into that column and then move that column down as well, because we have to place one die in each column. We can't double up in that column like that. So we want to think carefully before we start shuffling these invaders around. Quite a nice idea is to clear 1 or 2 tracks, and that means we can throw high value die in there in a future round. And I mean clear a track by, say, if we move that one down there and it goes there, this column is now empty, so we can throw some high value die into that column in the future turn and suffer no consequences. No more ships going to come down. Where we got? Ah, this is our first 5. Okay, so that's a possibility, but maybe not straight away. As I said, it's going to put the invader into that column, which will come down there as well. We're going to need energy. We start with 3 energy, and each of these spaces, well, a lot of these spaces consume energy. The red ones are fighter planes. The yellow ones give us power. The green ones are the research spaces, which allow us to move up on there. And the blue ones are robots, which will allow us to use these blue dice, which are pretty cool, as we'll see when we go into the game. So we do want to move the excavator a fair amount. If we can move it 5 or 6. So if we move it 6, it's the same column, but this invader is going to come down 6 spaces and hit that icon, which means the whole mothership progresses down 1. Which shortens the game further. So we want to try and avoid that if possible. Sometimes it's preferable, like we might want to skip this row because we don't want to send the excavator back 3 spaces. But overall, we want to be careful about doing that sort of thing. So these are the top row are anti-aircraft batteries. If we put a die in there, then that ship in that column moves down that number of spaces -1. It kind of slows them down a bit. So if we put a 1 in that column, this one won't move at all, because 1 minus 1 is 0. So that's a possibility to slow down the invasion. I'd like to get quite a high value into the power that we've got available, the power space, power generator. If we put a 5 in there, then this one's going to come down to there, which incidentally is the same space that that one would move into on a 5, so it would just block it. And if we put a 5 into there, you can see there's a -1 icon under there. We're going to get 4 power. We can store up to 9, and it costs 1 to move the excavator, and all the others are marked on there. So I might do that, I think. So we're going to go down to 5 there. That's 5 of these grid spaces, and there's no icon on that space, and nothing happens. And we do need to be careful about where we put this 6, because these 2 row columns have both got that mothership icon. So if we put, I'm kind of tempted to use this white 5. When we use one of the white die, we re-roll all the dice we've got left, and hope for some lower values, really, because at the moment we want to concentrate on getting this excavator round. So we could put the white 5 in there, which would move this invader down to there, and we can re-roll everything. If I put a 5 into there, then this invader moves down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As you can see on here, we've got a fighter jet that costs no energy, and it does -2. So that's the dice value -2. So although that invader there is on a 2 explosion space, it's going to get blown up by the fighter pilot, the fighter jet. I'm going to put this, I'm going to put the 1 in there to stop that one moving at all, because there's nothing else we can do in this column with the excavator until the excavator's moved. And I'm going to put this 5 in that space, which is where the excavator is going to move to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can only put one dice in front of the excavator, and the value has to be higher or equal to the number of spaces the excavator is going to move. So I can put this 5 anywhere there, apart from these dice notwithstanding. I can put the 5 there, and the excavator will move there, but this invader will still move down 5 spaces. I can't put the 5 there because it's 6 spaces in front of the excavator. So I'm going to put it there, and this one's going to move down 5 spaces. And he can't move over because that column's blocked by the other one. So because we've used the white dice, we re-roll everything that's left, and that gives us a 1, which I'm going to put in there so this column doesn't move either. So we've used all our dice. Now onto the room phase. These two are doing nothing now, so I'm just going to remove those. This one gives us 4 energy. 5 minus 1 is 4, so that takes us up to 7 power stored. The excavator uses 1 power to chug its way over to there. So move down 1, and this fighter jet uses no power at all to shoot down anything that's on an explosion with a value of 3 or less. So there's some 2, 1, 3. But this one's the only one that's on a 2, so that one is destroyed. Because it's red, it respawns back up there at the start of the next go. So that's all our rooms used, and as you can see now, we've got a research room, another power room, and a robot room available for us to use in the next round. So now the mothership moves down 1 row, and it triggers, this arrow points to this icon, so it triggers this, which means one of these white invaders will also spawn next turn. The spawn order for invaders is they fill any the red ones will first fill any empty column, so that's this column, and then any ones left over will go into the column where the invader is furthest away from the mothership. And in this case, these two are both the same, so we get to choose. And I think I'm going to put him in that column. Okay, so that is the invaders go over the room. They've moved the mothership and they've respawned their invaders ready to go. So we just re-roll our dice. Let's hope to get some research done this time. Oh, one of these should have been set to a 6, so that one already is set to a 6. Now, it would be good to get some research done. The next research step there is a 6. So we're going to need a green room with a value of 6 or more in it. Now this one here is a +1, so we could put a 5 in there. We can put a 5 dice in there, and that will give us enough to jump up there. But we don't have a 5 dice, so we can put the 6 there and generate 7, and then we could skip. If this was a 1, say, we could skip the 6 and the 1, but it's a 3, so we'd need 9 to go up 2 spaces. And as you try and progress up here, you are going to want to try and jump 2 or 3 spaces sometimes. So if we put that 6 in there straight away, we're going to have to re-roll everything. So let's see if there's anything we want to do with the rest of these dice first. Okay, so the robot spaces. If you put a dice into a robot space, it means you generate a robot with that value in the rooms phase, which you can then place in almost any space. They don't do anything in the anti-aircraft spaces. But then if you were to put it there, for instance, it would generate power and then run down and so on until it was till it was on 0, and then it's removed. So we want to try maybe and get a nice high value dice in here. Now, how far down is the 6 going to take this one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then skip over into that column. That's getting a bit close down to Washington with not much in the way to blow it up afterwards. So we want to be careful. Maybe a 5 in there would be better if we could get one. Now we've got some 4s. 4 would land this one nicely on an explosion, and a 4 in there would blow it up as well. A 4 in there doesn't land this one on anything, but gives us a 3-point fighter plane. This column we want to kind of be careful because we've now got 2 in there. Although there's an expensive fighter pilot, expensive in terms of power in this one. We also need to move the excavator. So where can we move the excavator for? All right, 1, 2, 3, 4. We can move it to that space. 5. We could move it to that space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is going to land this invader nicely on an explosion. 3, 4, 5. On a 3-point explosion as well. So kind of easy to shoot. That's quite nice. 6 would take it down to there and move the invader down to there. The advantage of pushing one space further is when the mothership advances to here, we're going to have to move the excavator back 2. And if the excavator is here, when it goes back 2, it's going to block this room. We can't use this multi-room area if the excavator is in any of it, and we have to place a die in each space. And obviously, if you can put 3 6s in there, then you're going to jump up on the research track quite substantially, because you'll have 18 points to spend, which indeed is how we're going to have to get past this 11 at the top there. So maybe I'd like to use the excavator 6 to get it to there. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That does put this one in the middle of nowhere. I'd kind of like to get him keyed up to get blown up by one of the fighters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so if we had a 5, it'd be quite nice to put the 5 in this robot room to move this one onto this explosion. And then put the 6 here, so we could blow up this invader on this space and that one. But we haven't got 5 yet. We can risk we can put this 6 on here, but then we'll have to re-roll the rest. So do we want these 4s at the moment? There's not much we can do in this column apart from roll out another fighter jet. It's a bit slow going at the start on this board. Let's put this 2 there, which moves this down onto that. And I'm going to put the 6 there, so it will do 5 damage. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that moves down 6, so it's ripe to get blown up by this. And then we'll re-roll. So not much difference from what we started, although we do have a 5, which I'm going to put there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So again, we're moving the excavator. It's not the 6 I'd have liked, but we're fine for now. So we have a 4 and a 2. One, 2, 3, 4. It's going to put that into there. If we put the 2 in this column, we're going to hit this white invader here is going to hit this icon. No, this icon. To move the mothership down, which does mean we will skip moving the excavator back up, but it shortens the game, and we have no research yet. So we'll have plenty of opportunity for research next go. We'll have two research rooms uncovered. Now I did want to get a robot going. Now 4-point robot is better than no robot. But a 5 in here would be better. 5-point robot would mean this moves down to there. But I don't think I can, if I have to put the 4 into this column. I could risk it. I'm thinking I'll put the 4 into this column, probably into the anti-aircraft gun. So these just move down 3 and 3, putting this one on an explosion. When the white ones are shot down, they go back off again. They don't respawn. And that will give us the reroll, and we can reroll this 2 and hopefully get a 5. Or maybe a 6 wouldn't be the end of the world, but a 5 would be best if we can get a 5-point robot. A 4, a 3, a 2, or a 6 wouldn't be disastrous, but a 1 wouldn't be great. But then if we get a 1, we can put it in the anti-aircraft and not move that row at all. So let's take that risk. Let's put this 4 in there and go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then we'll re-roll this 2 and really hope for a 5. And it is a 3. So this robot's going to move down 3 and not move over because it's blocked. Or we could put it in the anti-aircraft space. It will move down 2 and move into that column, freeing up this. But then they're all going to respawn anyway, so we won't get a free channel for the next round. So where are we going to put this 3? We can either have a 3-point robot, which isn't terrible, or we can have a 3-point. We can put 3 in the energy and get 2 more energy. But we're not using a whole load of energy. So let's go for the robot this turn. And then we can at least see what they do. Okay, so onto the rooms phase. Let's do the excavator first. The excavator chugs on over to there and uses 1 energy to move. 1 power, what have you. Then we're going to use the... let's just take that one off out the way. The fighter jet we're going to use for 5, which uses 1 energy and destroys that one on the 3, that one on the 5, that one on the 1, and that one on the 2. Which resets them all right back up there, which is good. This one does absolutely nothing because it was 2 minus 2. And this one gives us, if we want to spend 2 energy, we can get a 3-point robot to place anywhere here. And their robots are good because they don't use energy. So we could put him here, for instance, and we'll get a 4 research, 3 plus 1, and then a 3, and then a 2, and then it will be removed for 0 energy. We will have to make sure we don't waste them, hopefully by getting a 6 in here. Maybe in this one. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, which isn't ideal. So let's spend the 2 energy and put this 3-point robot in there. 3, 4, 5. And I'm thinking instead of putting a 6 in here, which will bring this right down close to the city, we're going to put a 5 in this one. So we can get the 6 with that, and then the 3 with the robot for that turn. And then if we don't do anything in the turn after, we'll at least get that one. Okay, so that's the room phase. We move the mothership down and we do this, which means the excavator moves back 2 spaces, which means we can't use this great big research room. A bit of a shame. These 3 red ships spawn in the 3 empty columns. And we'll roll. Alright, we got 3 6s. Oh, one of these needs to be set to a 6, which I will forget every single turn. Okay. So we got 3 6s. What did I say we wanted over here? A 5, which we haven't got. And we definitely don't want to put a 6 in there. A 4 is going to be a bit useless in there, so we're going to have to wait and re-roll and see if we can get a 5. We definitely don't want to use the 2 in this column. Nothing's lining up with all these 6s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That moves over to there. 5, 6. That moves over to there. That one just comes down to that space, and that 6 lands us on the mothership icon. That's not ideal. The 4. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. I think I'm going to put the 2 in there. Which moves that onto that explosion and does nothing on our board. And then use one of our 6s. In this column, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, there to move the excavator 6 spaces. So this one comes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then skips over into that column. We only have one more chance to destroy this before it hits Washington, but at least it's a low value. It's a 3 there. Now, even though we've got a robot die in this column, we do still have to put one of our dice in there. We placed a white, so I'm going to re-roll that now. Right, 1, a 3, and a 4. Remember, we were hoping for a 5 in here. We could generate another robot this round, although we need to watch our power. So this is the only column now where we can generate power. If we put the 4 in there, we can get 3 more power. And 1, 2, 3, 4, move this ship into that column as well, which gives us 2 free columns for the next round, as long as we don't shoot this one down. So I'm going to put this 4 into there. 1, 2, 3, 4, and that moves into there. So that's going to give us 3 more power and a re-roll, hoping for that 5. There's no 5. Okay, so now we're stuck with a 2 and a 1. Now, if I put the 2 on there, that would give us a 3 there and 3 there, but we can't add them together to make that 6. That's not how it works. This 6 has to come from one room or from a joined up combination room like this. So we can't do that to make 6. We can't put any more dice in front of the excavator. So really we're just kind of use these up to do nothing. Now if we, I said this one's quite low down, we maybe want to try and keep it still. So let's put the 1 in that anti-aircraft battery and just leave that as it is, don't move it. And this 2 likewise can go in that one, and that just nips down 1 like that. So into the room phase, these dice do nothing, we'll remove those. The 3-point robot, if we decide to use it, will tick down to 2. Now we don't have to use it, so it can sit there and it won't tick down and it doesn't use any energy. The excavator moves down to there and takes 1 energy, and this gives us 3. So we're clearing a fair amount of rooms here, but we're not doing a lot of research, but we haven't taken any damage yet. So now, talking about our 3 columns, the mothership comes down and picks these 2 back up again. I forgot that. And now they're going to respawn. And they're going to respawn into 2 of our empty columns, but at least we'll get to pick which 2. So we have all these rooms now available to us. And there's a couple more robot rooms down here which are good, which we could use. We can use this robot room if we leave this column free, and we've got a +2 fighter jet room for 2 energy. We've got a free to use, free power, -1 fighter jet room. So these 2 columns are good. This column has another expensive robot and a power generator, so I don't think, I mean, we could aim to use up this room. But unfortunately, 2 of the invaders in these columns, where we're going to want to try and put high values, are pretty far down. I suppose we could get a 5 and a 4, which would give us 9, which would clear those 2 spaces, and anything we like in the middle, so a 6, because this column could be free, which would give us that one, and that one. I mean, we haven't rolled yet, so this is all hypothetical. And then if our other column that was free is, say, this one with a big fighter jet, we might be able to shoot those down. So we need to get some research going, so maybe let's do that. Let's leave this column and this column. Oh, we can only leave 1 column free anyway, so we will leave this column free, hoping to get a big number in the middle of here, although it takes an awful lot of energy to use, doesn't it? So we're going to have to get an energy boost as well. And the only place we can get energy is there. Still possible, we can get a 4 in here. Ah, right, so when this moves down, I forgot, we've got to add another invader because of that, and that spawns in that column. So the whole conversation, the whole thing is moot, pointless discussion. Anyway, let's roll and see what we actually end up with. Whole lot of high values. Do we want to take the risks? One of the whites should be a 6. We've got that one anyway. So we can put the 5 in there, but we'll have to re-roll. The 5 will bring this invader down onto that space, so that's good. 1, 2, 3, 4. We haven't got a 4 yet, so we'll need to wait until after our re-roll. We wanted just the 5 and the 4, and a big number in the middle, and then fighter jet over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, we don't really want to put a 5 or a 6 in here though, because it's going to move the mothership down, and we'll actually miss out on this free round because the mothership will come down during the dice phase, and then in the mothership phase it will move down to there and move our excavator back 3 spaces. So we actually really don't want to move the mothership this phase. And like I said, we're going to need some energy too. And maybe we should forget about using this 3 wide room this time, just because it's really hard to get the energy and keep safe. And bear in mind, in a couple of rounds, the excavator is going to go back 3 spaces. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we don't want to put a 6 in this column, remember, because of the mothership icons there. So another thing you can do is, just because we've got this robot in this room, it doesn't mean we can't remove it. We can just put a 6 in there and remove that dice if we wanted to get 6 research going. But that means this invader is going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then really we're out of options until he hits DC, because there's no more explosions after there. We're supposed to get him over to there and then into there, but that's looking kind of slim. Shall we go for a big research? Let's 2, 3. Let's do it. Let's put a 6 in the middle there. 6, and we're going to put a 5 in that column there, which is going to cause us to reroll. So do we want to, just before I do that, do I want to use this 6 or the 2 anywhere else? What's 5, 6 and 2 is 13. How far, if I was to put that in there? Bear in mind we've got the 3 here as well. Now if we had 13 from this room, we'd have to use it all in one go. We can't go 6, 3 and 1 to make 10 and then use the 3 from this room and then move on with the power from this room. So how far can 13 get us? 9, 10, 13 would get us to there, and then we can use that robot to get that 1. We do need to get some power. I must remember we need to get some power. Right. So it'd be really nice to have a 4. Now let's put the 2 in there. 1, 2, 1, 2. That moves over to there, which might not be a good move at this point. Do I want to rethink that then? 1, 2. We need some power, so we are going to have to put something into that column. 6. If I put the 6 into there, that's going to give us 5 power. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then the 2 into there, so that's the 1, 2. 1, 2, that must have been there. 1, 2. Now we're going to put the 5 in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and re-roll this, which gives us a 3. Which has to go in this column. So we can get a 3-point robot. We can get 4 points of research. So the 13 here is going to give us 9, 10, 13. If we've got 4 points there, if we've got enough energy, I think we might have. That'll get us the 1 and the 3, and then this one can get us the 1. Shame it can't get us the 1 and the 3, but you know, it gets us halfway up this board then. We're into the difficult stuff, but we've made a move. Let's put that into there, and this ship moves down 3 spaces. Okay. So first of all, let's use this 5 power, which takes us right up, full up. We're not moving the excavator this round, so that's that gone. Now we've got 13 from this room, so 6, 9, 10, 13, that's those 3 dice used. We're going to use this 4 to go 1, 3, and then, so that's right. So that was 5 power, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That one was 2 power, and then this robot is free to use but winds down a point, and that skips up to there. So that's not bad. A lot of research for one game, for one round. Now the mothership moves down. Nothing is respawning because we didn't shoot anything and it didn't catch anything up, and no effects happen because we get a breather this round. So let's roll. 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6. Now we want to try and shoot down some of these low flying invaders maybe. We've got 1 on a 3, which is nice and low. This robot here is going to be fairly useless for a few goes unless we can get 10 points out of here again, which I'm not sure is going to happen this round. We would like to clear this research space because it gives us a free double room, no power used. However, if we jump ahead this round, it's going to go straight back again. In fact, it's going to go, if we don't, it's going to go 1, 2, 3 back to there. So we can get to the end with the 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Unfortunately, that puts this invader in the middle of nowhere there. And then when it hits the round end, it's going to go 1, 2, 3. So undo almost everything we've done. One of our white dice should be set to 6, so I'm going to set 1 to 6 and then re-roll the other one. That was a 6 as well. So again, an awful lot of 6s. This is a difficult section to traverse now, this column here, because we've got 2 mothership icons and we've got 2 invaders next to each other. I mean, we could deliberately hit a mothership icon so we skip this and don't send the excavator back. But then we're going to immediately hit this one, which is going to send our research marker back. But maybe it's better if our research marker goes back while these values are low, 3s and 1s, rather than advance up here and then have to do the 7 again. So I'm thinking maybe we should generate a big robot and then stick a big robot into a fighter jet. So we've got a few rounds of the robot just buzzing around picking off invaders that sit on explosions. And we could do that. We can put a 6 in here, for instance, which will give us, and then we can put that robot immediately into there, which will give us an 8, 7, 6, 5, 4 and 4 and 3-point round. So a good few rounds there. The only trouble is if we put the 6 in there, we're not advancing the excavator. Although I am really tempted to skip that excavator space now. So I'm thinking maybe put a 6 in this robot space, which is going to bring this one 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 into this space. And then move this column down 3 or 4. So one of these invaders rests on the explosion while the other one triggers the mothership. So we have a 4 for that. We could put it in there to get some more power. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we can go 6 and 6, and that one will move over to there. And not set off the mothership. The trouble is, if we put a big robot in this +2 fighter jet and then the excavator backs up 3 spaces, we're going to lose that robot. Okay. I'm going to put a 6 into there, which is going to advance the excavator. I'm going to put a 4 into there, which is going to get us 3 power. And these two move down. Right, first of all, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These move 1, 2, 3. And the mothership moves down 1. So I'm skipping this excavator backing up, and I'm doing that on purpose. I'm going to put 1, 2, 6. A 1 into this column. Into the anti-aircraft to stop this one moving at all. And then I'm going to put a 6 into that robot space, which means that one moves down and does us 1 point of damage. And I'll re-roll this one, which is a 3. And I'm going to put the 3 there to get us more power. 1, 2, 3. That one moves down 3. Not crazy about that go, but we do have some. We have some good stuff coming. So we've moved the excavator there, which is 1 power, and then we get 3, 5 power back from those. That's just finished. We get a 6-point robot. Which I'm going to stick in that big fighter jet there. So hopefully he's just going to fly around like a drone and sort out some of these invaders for us. So the mothership moves down, that research tracker moves back 2, and this respawns in the central column. So a reroll. Okay, so one of these white dice should have been a 6. And re-roll the other one, which is another 6. We're going to have to take some more damage this round. If I put a 6 in here, that's going to give us 7 research, which is going to move us to there. 3, 1, 3. And a re-roll. Do we want to use the 5s? I kind of like use the 1 to stop this column or this column moving. Remembering that everything, pretty much anything on an explosion is going to get shot down this round. So let's put the 1 in that column. Stop this column moving. And I'm going to put 5 in there for a 5-point bot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which we're going to use to research, hopefully. And finally, well, not finally, I'm going to put the 6 in there for research and reroll. This comes straight off the bottom and does us another point of damage. So that's a 5 and a 2. If we put the 5 in there, that's going to go 4 down to there and sit there. And re-roll this. I hope it's a. Oh, it was so nearly the 1. So I can either put it there, the 3 there, and move it down there and into that column, which gives us a chance to destroy it later. Or I can put the 3 there, generate 4 power. But this invader's then going to sit there, which means he's there and he's going to do us damage at some point. I think I'm going to play it safe this round. 1, 2, safe. I say safe. It's not great. And it's not very productive. Okay, so these onto the dice face. Those are all removed. This one for 2 power gives us 7. So that's 3, 1, and 3. 7 research. This bot is going to shoot down that and that. And it winds down itself, so it's now on 5. This bot's doing nothing. And we get to create a 5-point bot, which we're going to use this dice. And what are we going to have it do? Research. I think if we stick it in one half of this room, then all we got to do is spend a dice in the other half, and we can get some serious values going up there, hopefully. Anyway, the mothership comes down, 2 white invaders spawn, and these 2 go to that column, and that one goes to there, and we get a choice which of these 2 columns that one's going to go into. Put that there so I remember. Much for muchness. I'm going to put it into that column. Okay, re-roll. And that's our 6. So if we put our 4 into there, that's going to give us 9 research. We'll get the 7 and the 2, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this one will be blown up by this robot drone in a fighter jet. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right, so 6 in this column. We'll put him onto an explosion space, so we can get another 6 points of research out of there, which will do us the 3. A 6 is also safe-ish in this column, which would give us the 3 and the 4. But if we put the 3 there, 1, 2, 3, he's safe. And I just put a 1 anywhere in here. Just going to put it there just to move him down to there. Then I'm going to put the 6 in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And re-roll this 1. It's a 1 again. I can put it anywhere, really. Don't want to use the power, so just going to put it there. Just to move that one and that one down, and that zooms over into that column. Okay. So we're going to use this robot here first. So that ticks down to a 4, and he does 7 points to anything on an explosion space. So that's all of those cleared up, ready to respawn. Oops. He was there. Okay, so we've got 9 points down here, so that robot ticks down to a 4 and we get the 9. This one for 2 power is worth 4, and that gets us that. And then this one for 1 power is worth 6, so it gets us to there. That one and that one are doing nothing, that one's used. Okay, that's not so bad. The mothership comes down, swallows that one up, which I believe goes up for respawn. And we come down 1 on the track. We've only missed a 2. So what have we got left? We have got 1, 2 rounds. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I hope I haven't missed any points of damage. We're going to lose 1 when the mothership advances here. And we need to get 7, 8, 11, and 11. I think, you know, we might just do this. It's going to be close. That red goes in there because it's furthest down, and that white goes there. So we got a white 6 that we set. Roll the others. Let's see where we are. Okay, so we got a 4 in here. So unfortunately, if we could get a 7, we could get right up to there. We're going to destroy anything that's resting on a 6-point explosion. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We don't really want to trigger that mothership space. We need to be really careful with that now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we can put a 6 in this column. Maybe get a bunch of energy there, bunch of power. Two, 3, 4. So 3 and a 4 in here. Leaves one of them on a space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. So if we put a 6 in this column, it leaves the red one right there on our doorstep, but we can put it there and get up to 7. As I said, the 11 we have to get out in one go. So maybe if we get a bunch of power this round, we can fill up these 3 spaces to get out next round. But we have to survive as well as destroy all these. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I think put a 6 in that row, which brings them down to there and there. Seat of the pants stuff, right? 1, 2, 3, 4 in there would be good. 6 wouldn't be terrible, but we don't want a 5 or a 3 for sure. I want to put a 6 in there so we can get 6 power. But do I want to use the 5 yet? I can't put a 4 or a 5 into the here, or a 6. But I want... or a 1. Really need a 2 in there. Or a 3. So we're going to have to wait and see after the re-roll. So we want a 2 or a 3 in this column. 3, 4 in this column would be good. So we could just put the 5 in there. I mean, it's a bit wasteful, but at least it resets this invader and he's not sitting around in the middle of the board. if we put that 1 there, it gives us 2 extra power and moves him onto there, and then we can put the, I mean, we're on dangerous ground on that final column, but 6 into there, which is going to give us 5 power. Or we could see, we could put the, instead of the 1, I can put a 1 there doing, oh no, we've got to put something down there, haven't we? But I could put a 5 into there, getting us 6 power. I can put the 6 into there, getting us a 2-point robot. So we can bump this one back up to 6 for the finale. But I can't use the 5 and the 6 because I'll have to reroll the remaining dice. I like the idea of putting a 5 in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and re-rolling. That is not good. Now I can put the 6 into here like I planned. But that's going to leave us a 5 for this column, which means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to trigger the mothership, which means we're going to skip this damage, but only gives us 1 more round. And it gives us 9 in here, though. Or we could put a 6 in, take 1 more damage and an extra, and not skip the round. 1, 2, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Put a 6 into there, which gives us 10. So then we've got a 10 and a 7 research. So one of these is kind of wasted then. Now the question is, do we want to take damage or do we want the mothership to come down? I think damage is preferable at this point. So I could put the 5. Oh no, if I put the 5 into this row, this ship's going to end up in this column as well, right there. And then we're kind of hoping for a 2 or bust. Anything else then would be disastrous. So I'm tempted to just put the 6 in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That one, oh, that goes back up to respawn as well. 1. So if the white ones hit the city, then they go back up to respawn. And we'll put the 5 into there to take a 5-point robot. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that shifts over into that column. So where are we in the rooms phase? That's doing nothing. We've got 6 points of power from that one. We took a point of damage from that one that came down here, the white one. So we got 7 points of research from there for 2 power. That takes us to there. This drone destroys that and that and drops down to a 3. So next round it's going to be doing 5s. 2 points of power for a 5-point robot. Now if I put a 5-point robot into there, I'm going to need a 6 in that column, which means those 2 are going to come down, do us 2 points of damage, but we're going to take a point of damage from this anyway. Should have taken the mothership skip. So, but if I put the 5 into that column, because that's gone now, if I put the 5-point robot into that column, that one doesn't need to move, does it? 2, 5, 6, and that column is safe to get a 6 in it. So let's take this, wind it back up to a 5 and put it in there. Okay, mothership moves down and does us 1 point of damage. We have 2 lives remaining. So that's a 6. So we're guaranteed a 6 as well. So all we need is 4 points of research and to survive, and we've got it. Tense. Okay. Just got to survive. So we can take 1 point of damage. We don't know if we can let the mothership skip, or if we have to survive. Let's just check the rules on that. Yeah, so as soon as this research token reaches the top of the track, we have won. We don't need to survive until the end of the round, so we can even drop the mothership 1 space. So we're going to put the 6, the white 6, or possibly the grey 6, into this space. That will give us this final space here. We need to pick up 4 more. So probably best not to use that one. Oh, we didn't respawn these ships. Look, 1, 2, and that white one must go in there because it's, oh no, the empty one. Right, so we can get a 4 point quite safely there. We can get 4, 5, or a 6. Because we don't care where this one ends up as long as he's not hitting us. So we can put a 5 or 6 on there, and then that would be enough research. All we need to do then is survive. We've got power. We really need a 1, so we don't have to move this column. If I put the 2 in here, these 2 are only going to move down 1 space. We can put big values in here, that's fine, 5s and 6s to do whatever. The 2 into there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can put a 5 or 6 into that column, no trouble as well. So we need to put the 6 into this column. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's safe. Should we put the grey? No, we put the grey 6 in there. I want to re-roll as many as possible to get the 1, to get low values. I'm definitely going to put the 2 in there. I'm definitely going to put a 6 in here. And we just need a 5 or the other 6 in there. So the 6 goes in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I put this 5 into there, it gives us 2 rerolls. Well, kind of. You'll see what I mean. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is enough to do all the research. We've got enough power to do the research, so that's fine. Now all we need to do is not die. So if I put the 5 into, it doesn't matter. Let's put it into there to get lots of power. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got 3 power. Let's put the 5 into there. so we can blow that one up. Let's go out with a bang and re-roll this and hope we just, well, we're okay, but it'd be nice just to get a 1 or a 2. Just a 1. Oh no, if we roll higher, hang on, it's too late now. If I roll higher than a 2, we've lost this. No, higher than a 3. So we're on to a 50-50 chance of saving Washington here. If we roll a 1, a 2 or a 3, we're safe. If I roll 4, 5 or a 6, we're lost. Because I wasn't paying attention. It's a 4. Oh no! Hubris, I wasn't paying attention. So 1, 1, 2, 3. That's it. 2 points of damage and we're dead. Oh, so close, and because I wasn't paying attention to this, I thought we had it. How annoying. Anyway, we had the research, we had the 4 points, we had 5 points there to get that. We blew up a load with fighter jets, and then we had the 11 to get that. But, well, that just goes to show you can't take it for granted. You need to pay attention to these things. Just that little detail lost the game. So close. We could have had that. So easily could have had that. So at least, you know, I think we've shown a good game there. We've hopefully we haven't made too many mistakes there, but I think that was an exciting game. It would have been a bit more exciting if I'd managed to win, but as you can see, it was very close, so that's okay. What I plan to do is, there is the campaign and there are spoilers in the campaign, so I'm probably going to do some of the more advanced tiles from the campaign, maybe one game from the middle of the campaign, and mark it as spoilers. So, but if you don't mind that, or you've played the campaign and you want to watch it, then you'll be able to go ahead and watch that. So, but anyway, I enjoyed that. Just real shame didn't quite make it. Oh well. So that was Under Falling Skies. Every game is knife edge close, but the variable difficulty ensures that you can play at a level you're happy with. More than half the contents of the box is taken up with the multi-mission campaign mode, and even after finishing that, it's likely you won't have seen half the content here, which means you can play it again and again, and it's always different. I've started the campaign, and there's some really fun variants in there, and a few surprises. So, thanks for watching this game, and please remember to give a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not already. You can follow me on Twitter at OneManMeeple, and if you're really keen, buy me a coffee at Ko-fi. There's a link in the description. I'm saving to buy a 4K camera so we can improve the quality of these videos for you. Cheers, goodbye.